Welcome back, friends, to the shop. So we've got a lot of stuff going on today. We've got the pieces showed up for the Kennedy Toolbox and the lock, so we're going to be replacing that. We've got an oil change on the adventure van. We've got fire extinguishers. We've got all sorts of things going on here. But first off, I'm very sad to report that we have a terrible infestation of mice in the adventure van, and I have went scorched earth the last couple days of getting them. I've been setting traps in there, and like every time I open the door, I see one scurry around. It just makes me crazy. I hate these mice. They get in, they ruin everything. So let's go check and see what the bounty is this morning. Oh, also coming up this week, I will be sharing the story of the time that I almost died in the septic tank, as well as a full review of the e-bikes. You guys have been badgering me about that. When are you going to talk about the e-bikes? So we wanted to use them for a couple weeks and really get the flavor of the whole thing so that I could speak intelligently on that. But that will be up here in the next couple days too. Let's check our traps. Just as I suspected, that's 4 in a row in 2 days. How many can possibly be in here? Good riddance, you filthy, filthy creature. As of late, I've become the mouse catching expert, and what I have found to be true is that these old school mouse traps are useless. Maybe these mice are too light or something, but all they do is they eat the peanut butter and the trap never springs. But these plastic ones, now these are a whole different story. Every time I set them, I catch one. So I'm a big fan of these guys. They have to actually walk around on that platform and it nabs them. So yeah, 4. And I'll tell you something really, really bad happened up in the heater box. And I can't remember, did I tell you guys what happened to the heater box? So I started up the van, this was a couple weeks ago. I started up the van and the blower was on. The blower was making this tick, 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 this vibrating sound, right? The fan motor. And so I thought, what in the world? And I turned it on high and it made this horrible, like an unbalanced racket. You ever like put something that rotates really quickly and like put a bunch of weight on it? We used to do this to my friends when they would get married. We would at the church, we'd sneak under their car and we'd take like a bunch of wheel weights or like fishing weights and then tape them with duct tape onto the drive shaft, just really heavy on one side. And the whole thing would just really, yeah, I know. Anyway, if you want to mess with your friends, you can do that. And it vibrates like crazy. Well, that was what was going on in my heater cage. I'm like, what in the world? And I turned it off and I turned it back on high and it was just, the whole dash was shaking and all of a sudden something came loose and it was like a squishy organic sound, right? I know it's hard to explain. I was completely mystified, like what in the world? But this fan was spinning freely. It's no small job. Of course, I pull half the dash apart, pull the heater thing all out. What had happened is there was a big old fat, disgusting, hateful mouse in there that must have been chilling on the cage when I turned it on, and it just eviscerated him. He was in like a million pieces. So now I've got the mouse holocaust in the heater box, and there's just bits and parts everywhere, and I'm up in there with like a mirror and a shop vac trying to get it all out, and of course I didn't get it all out, and it's just, I hate these things. I wish there was a better solution. I don't know how they get in. I mean, I thought I had the whole thing sealed up, but obviously I don't. I mean, they must have an incredible vertical leap. Okay, just to get everyone up to speed, of course we are organizing the shop for the last time. Right? I'm publicly stating this for the last time, 6 feet at a time. And that was about as far as you can reach. So if it doesn't matter, just go to your shop, everything is disorganized, spread your arms apart and you're like, okay, it ends now. I'm gonna deal with everything within my span, right? So we had to skip the toolbox because the toolbox drawers are full of just years and years of garbage. I had to wait to get the parts and those are in now. So we'll go back to that. But we did the workbench and that's really working out great and we'll just continue working it over. So let's go look at the parts and then dig into that. Let's do the toolbox. So I called the Kennedy company. Kennedy, of course, is a great American company. They make great toolboxes. My dad's used them for years. I've used them for years. My granddad used them. I called them up, no problem. There was a part number in the inside of the drawer. They sent the hinges out, brand new, or the rollers, the sliders out, and a brand new lock with key. We got some new mat. We'll put the mat in there. We'll hit another couple more of those drawers. Also, we got inner tubes for the lawnmower, finally. I know it took so long. I'm gonna have Jack do that. He needs to experience the joy of changing tires by hand. Aha, the cluttered toolbox, the place where tools go to die. Now this one, yep, this is the one that had failed on me. And I don't remember what happened. This was years ago, and I've been fighting it forever. I pulled out the drawer, and all the ball bearings fell out. So the hinges came apart. So I think this should be pretty straightforward. So we're going to clean that one out too. Whoops, there goes more ball bearings. We are going to organize 2 of these drawers today, and we're getting rid of, man, the junk, the duplicates. We're getting rid of stuff. So Brian was really stoked. I had 2 great big boxes of giveaway tools of duplicates and different things that he went through. I think he took everything because he's trying to put his shop together, and he doesn't have a lot of he doesn't have a lot of tools when it comes to like household sort of things. So so it's been nice. It's a lot easier to give things away when you have someone that's in need. What I need to do is to make myself a nice, maybe we'll need to make a nice paper towel holder, one right here under the bench where we can grab paper towels with one hand. We'll degrease this here, we'll put a nice drawer liner, new drawer liner in there. That's gonna make everyone so happy. Let's take a look at these slides and see what failed. Okay, so as we see, these have a race in there with ball bearings. Your best drawers are going to be ball bearings. Now these are not the best because I don't like these particular drawer slides because they're not full extension. So when you're buying toolboxes, if you're going to be using it a lot, make sure you demand one that has full extension, meaning that the drawer comes all the way out so you don't have stuff that gets stuck in the back. But you do what you can, right? You get what you can afford at the time. So these ball bearings have all failed, and here's the new one right here. That looks exactly the same. So let me show you how to replace these. It's really simple. Typically, toolbox drawer sliders are not held in with any fasteners, but just these little tabs. You'll see there's one horizontal and one vertical. So on your drawer, just take a small punch if it's stuck and just open that up a little bit. And by doing that, that will go down, and then you pull it out and you work this one back right there, and see, that's how they go in. So they just slide and snap down in, and just weight keeps them in. Just take your little cold chisel there and open that up a little bit, and that should come right out. So don't despair if your ball bearings all fall out of your drawer. It's an easy fix. Okay, so these guys, now these are actually 2 pieces, so you can, when you need to take your drawers out, you'll see this is the drawer side. There's a little plastic deal. You pull that, and that will release that clip. And now we can reinstall this into the drawer. To install these, just start with the drawer. Now there is a left and a right, so just take special note of that. If you just tap this back until it seats, then you can bring this in and just pull it up there until it snaps like that. On the toolbox side, we'll do the same thing. We have the exact same tab system going on. Twist it out a little bit and pull up, and that will come right out. Then you can just take your new one and just reinstall it the same way. Put the back in first. You know, these are modular. I mean, you can change, the manufacturer, I think they do it this way so they can change the drawer configuration. Set the back in and then clamp it down in there. Just super simple. Here you can better see what happened right there. See the ball bearings there? So those are the races. That's what the ball bearings, it probably could have been, if I would have collected them all, I probably could have put them back in there. But why they came out in the first place, I don't know. We should be able to slide this back in here. Now, what I'm doing, and I would recommend you guys do the same when you're going through, when you're cleaning up your shop, you know, you're 6 feet at a time. When you come across something like this that you've been putting off repairing, oh, it's so nice to have that fixed. That's been 15 years. Every time I looked at that, you know, you look at something like that and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I gotta fix that. How many times have I said that? I gotta fix that, I gotta fix that. So it's just one more thing that you carry on your mind, just another unfinished project that you know, these things build up to the point where you can get easily overwhelmed and discouraged in life. I know it seems like a small thing, but it's not. It is a small thing if you take it as a single deal, but when you combine it with the other things in life, that's when it becomes a problem. So what we're doing, what our goal here is to live a life that's peaceful and is free from frustration and simple as possible, so that our possessions, our tools, our shop, the things that we have to get through life don't end up becoming such a massive project all the time and so burdensome that it takes away from the time that you have to spend with your kids and doing the hobbies and things that you like to do. So I'm the most guilty of it. I'm the chief of sinners when it comes to that. I mean, I am the master of unfinished projects. So we're not moving on until we correct these things. And if it takes 6 months, maybe you come across, I'm looking at an unfinished motorcycle over there. I'm getting ready to talk tough love here, but I have to check myself, because am I willing to go? How far am I willing to go, right? I got an unfinished 1968 BSA motorcycle up there. What happens when I get to that? Does the whole shop progress stop until I restore that bike? I guess we got to keep it within limits, but you understand what I'm saying. If you have something broken, order the parts and get it fixed and then move on, and then we'll just continue to hop along. So yeah, so that's that. So let's, this drawer here is unorganized as well. Let's pull this one out, get it cleaned up. We'll go through both drawers, get the mats in organized, and then we'll move on. This magnet's something I added on Friday that's been really handy. I just stuck it on here right next to my vise, and so it's my commonly used things, like a chisel knife, of course, the number one tool in your shop, your little screwdriver, ice pick, trauma shears, and O-ring pick. And I'm always grabbing and using these particular things. So I just stick them on here, and they're super handy for that. We have a brand new roll of tool drawer liner. I was on Amazon, and they had how many feet was this? 24 feet, which sounds like a lot, but you need a lot for a big toolbox, 3 feet a piece or so. And the 24-footer was $10 cheaper than the 12-footer. I don't know. It's the incredible mystery. I kept the old liner, so the mice had gotten in and chewed holes into these, and that was really bothering me, so I just didn't want that. So I kept the old one so that I could use it as a template. Actually, I think a straight edge and a sharp knife is going to be the better tool for this job here. I think for this drawer, these are not that bad. Actually, do those extend further than the one? No, they're not true full extension, but they're pretty darn close. That's not really much to gripe about there. That is just about all the time we're going to have for today. I wanted to save the end of the video to talk about a couple things that are coming up that are exciting to me. So you guys, some people were asking me on the live stream what my favorite YouTube channel is, and that changes depending on kind of what I'm into and stuff, but someone that I've really been interested in and I've been following very closely is Roosh V's channel. Now hold on a second. I know what you're going to say, because as soon as I mentioned that, I got a barrage of emails of like, you can't have anything to do with that guy, he's a devil. Okay, so I find it very interesting, a guy that lives a life, a hedonistic lifestyle for so long and writes multiple books and is basically the grandfather of the whole pickup artist scene, which I was never aware of until recently. Making the transition from that to coming to Christ. He's a very interesting guy. He's a very complicated guy, a very sincere guy. I like the way he thinks. I like his videos. I like his perspective on life. And he's one of the few people, if I was to be completely honest. It was funny, Jack and I were having a conversation the other day. We were talking, asking that question. If you could meet anyone, who would it be? Roosh was high on my list. I admire that. I admire a guy that is going the wrong direction and is able to make a 180-degree course correction on his own and go the right direction, more than someone that just kind of straddles the line and goes through life. I really do. I've always been kind of drawn to the underdog and to people that were maybe not accepted by other groups. It's just always something that I've had since I was just little. And I think that's why I'm drawn to him. The interesting thing is, it's so fascinating. So he is coming, I have so much to talk about. I'm excited about this. He's coming to Portland. He's doing a national tour. And he's so hated and he's so despised by so many people because he's been vilified in the press that he can't even announce the venue until just hours before. So I don't even know where we're going. All I know is it's in Portland. So if you want to go, it's coming up, I think it's this Saturday night. I'll put a link to his website. It might be all full. So you might not be able to get in, but I'm going to be there and I'm looking forward to it. So I was going there to this. I bought my ticket a week ago or so, and I thought, well, if he's going to be here, it would be cool to have some time. And I just love the area that we live in here, and he's from the East Coast and has never seen this area. And so I just sent an email out to him and said, hey, Mrs. W and I would love to host you guys, or host you if you have some time, and show you around and let us take you out to dinner and all that. And he responded, he said he might be able to do that this Monday. So that's super exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll see him on Saturday, and maybe some of you guys, who knows. Funny thing about it though is that this all took place, and then minutes afterwards I was watching Owen's show, and Owen's having him over at his house today. So I didn't even know that. So it was, it was kind of everything seems to be coming together. It's funny that I really like these two guys. They really do. We just are paralleling in our lives in so many ways. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, and don't save it. If you're going to email me and tell me that I'm having the devil over to my house, no, save it. You're wrong. I completely disagree with that. I'm not a fool. I'm not a moron. I don't condone the books that he had written. I'm not saying that that's something that I'm standing behind, and I don't think that he is either. I think that he's a guy that's turned over a new leaf and going in the right direction, and able to come out of that. I mean, I admire that, and I respect that, and I respect his intelligence and his takes on things. And I just, you just watch someone and you like them. You just can't explain it. It's just you want to share your life, and you just want to be part of that. So he's just one of those guys that comes in me. So save it. I don't want to hear it. I don't believe 90% of what you're going to go online and find about the guy. It's not true. I've spent a lot of time watching his videos over the last 6 months. I've read several of his books. I have, because I wanted to know what type of a character we're looking at, the before and the after. So I know him probably better than you do if you're just going and reading something that some SJW has written to try to vilify him and to turn him into a monster, because I don't believe that he is, and I don't believe that he ever was, to be honest with you, but that's a whole nother discussion. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll put the link down there to that. If you want to attend it, if you're in the Portland area, I will be there. I don't know where it's going to be, but we'll find out. If you buy the ticket, then you'll get an email right before the venue, so you can go, to limit the protesters. So yeah, anyone who draws protesters and is banned from England is probably a guy that I'd like. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys on the next video.